serious as a friend ever done said something that just straight up ended the friendship? What happened? Story 1. She got married. I was just friends with this girl from law school. She was a cool girl and we lived in the same city after law school. We had never seen each other naked. I was dating someone else at the time. She was dating this guy. I met her parents as just a friend, was friends with her sister. So for about 6 years we were just pretty cool friends. She gets married. Her husband then texts me and tells me to stay away from her. I text her and say, yo, your husband is telling me not to speak with you anymore. Is that what you want? I got no response. Cool. A few weeks pass and I call friend's sister and see if she wants to grab a drink as I was in the area. You got some nerve calling me. What? Listen, I know XX doesn't want me to speak to her but not sure why we can't be friends. Are you kidding me? You ruined her life and are trying to ruin her marriage with what you did to her. What? I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have always had her best interest at heart, so I dunno. Yeah, well then why didn't you tell her you had herpes before you her? Wait, what? She and I never had, and I don't have herpes, so I'm a little confused here. Stop lying. Husband told the whole thing and she never denied it, so you don't ever speak to us again, alright? Come to find out, that had herpes and didn't tell her and he gave her herpes, and when it got out that she had herpes somehow, he blamed it on me and she just let the lie take hold because it was easier than her family hating her husband. Alright, cheers, consider it a parting gift. Story 2. In college, a former friend tried to have with me. I'm also a guy. While I was blackout drunk he was not drunk. He did that despite knowing I am straight and had a girlfriend at the time. Lucky for me there were some actual friends that stopped him. Story 3. I got assaulted by 2 guys in a summer camp and told it to my best friend. After calling me stupid for letting that happen, she apologized and I forgave her. Then I saw her parents who asked how summer camp went and all she did was turn to me and go, well, you made many friends, didn't you? Don't you want to tell my parents about it? With a big smile on her face. I don't feel too bad about thinking that she can off in. Story 4. I was gaming with my best friend and my wife was sitting on the couch next to me just reading a book. She was super content just letting me game. She just wanted to be spending time with me. My friend had a not even 1-year-old kid that he just stuck in a bouncing chair in the side of the room while we played. He said the kid loves that chair and is in it a lot, so he just games. The kid starts whining a bit, but he gets ignored. I'm thinking, well, probably hit this checkpoint and hell go tend to his kid. Nope, several good stopping points had passed and the kid was fussing even more now. So my buddy says to my wife's name, there's formula in the cupboard and the diaper bag is over in the corner there. He's probably just hungry and has a poopy diaper if you want to feed and change him. I looked at this guy like head just slapped her, turned my game off and said, how about instead of asking my wife to do it, you put down your game and take care of your own child? A bit of a harsh response, but he looked so but hurt that I just told him to take care of his own child instead of game all day. I packed my stuff up and we left. I haven't spoken to him in 3 years. TLDR, my former best friend told my wife to feed and change his infant child so he could keep playing video games. We don't speak anymore. Story 5. One of my best friends of several years set me up to get robbed for $390, my wallet and my jacket. The guy who robbed me pulled a machete on me and kept it against my neck. I don't really know why they decided they want to do it, but I know from enough people and just the way it all happened gave me suspicions telling me it was him that I found out, so naturally I stopped being friends with him, because it was a bit of a move and all. Story 6. My best mate's now ex-girlfriend told everyone I had with her while they were dating, when I definitely had not. She was the most irritating person I'd ever met and I don't know if I've ever been attracted to someone less than I was to her, ruined our friendship and destroyed her relationship with my mate. She is one of those people that crave drama and can't live without having something wrong to moan about. She's currently pretending to have multiple personality disorder and blaming that for every time she's a dickhead so she can get away with it. Story 7. The dumped friend. She posted a video from The Onion of a fake senator reading a fake bill that was all redacted and you could tell with context clues it was basically saying in the event of Armageddon, the high-powered people have bunkers to hide in. She made some comment about the redacting and our government is hiding stuff. I commented that it was a satire video and not real. She got super mad and accused me of trying to make her look stupid. She said there was no way she could have known. The Onion was in the bottom right-hand corner of the video. She blocked me and we have never spoken since. We had known each other for at least 5 years. More accurately, my parents took her in when she ran away from home for, like, a year when we were teens. When her husband beat her up early 20s, I road tripped all night to pick her back and move her back in. Story 8. Best friend and ex-coworker for 5 years. Confided in her and told her about my self-harming, depression and stuff I went through as a child, you can imagine. 2 days later she not only told the whole of my old workplace but told my family too. Absolutely heartbreaking. Story 9. We had one friend that said he fell on bad times with money, so we paid everything for him during the next couple of months, drinks, cigars, travel, and after a few months we found out he was going out with new people all that time and was acting rich in front of them with all the money he was saving by scamming us. I hope it was as worth it for him as it was for us. Story 10. My former best friend of over 6 years hit up my ex-girlfriend the day we broke up. He sent her a DM asking if she wanted to hang out at his house parents, but WTV. At the time he also had a girlfriend, who was pregnant with his kid. My ex hit me and his girlfriend up with the messages. My ex and his girlfriend decided to go together at his place and expose him. I didn't want to do with any of that, but I didn't want anything to happen to either of the girls. So we show up, His mom greets us and lets us in. As soon as he saw us three he knew that his was up but acted all surprised. We told him we knew. He kept defending his case by saying his little brother who was 6 sent my ex those messages. Well, to make a long story short, his pregnant girlfriend left him. He's currently paying child support. He also moved out of the state like a month later. My ex and I are back together and 3 months into our marriage. Story 11. Didn't love my dog when he was dog sitting. Carelessly let her run away, then failed to look for her. My surveillance cameras caught it all. I was pissed. Friendship over. Story 12. After I spent all day using my truck and trailer helping him haul tables and chairs and a giant archway to the church for his wedding that I was supposed to be a groomsman. Him: hey dude, I really appreciate you helping me move this stuff. I couldn't get anyone else to help. Hey, race 20 for the gas me. Whoa dude. Am I in your wedding? I don't need money to help make this happen. Him: yeah dude. So hey, Brent, his soon-to-be wife's best guy friend 100x buddy guy he's known for less than 3 months. Really wanted to be in the wedding and I was wondering if it would be cool if he took your spot and I can see if any of her cousins backed out and if there's a seat open somewhere. This was the day before the wedding. I had been best friends with that guy since kindergarten. His wife didn't like me because I knew about her wild past from a different circle of friends, so this was her attempt to push me out. He caved, but none of the other people involved would help move, so he waited until last minute to get me to help. Haven't spoken to that guy since, and last I heard she quit her job and sucks in his house all day while he's at work. They deserve each other. At it. I feel like I need to add, 2 days after the wedding the church venue called me frantic. Apparently no one picked up the chairs, tables, and archway from the church venue and those gave my number and told them I was supposed to be picking them up. That didn't happen. Story 13. Someone said I should put a trigger warning: rape, and this is pretty heavy. So buckle up, this is a throwaway account for what will soon be obvious, I hope. Last year, my friend met this girl that he really liked and asked her out. I didn't really like her, but she seemed nice enough. A couple months later I found out that they had. A little surprising but not a super huge deal. She starts acting super paranoid. If someone even brushes against her, she flips the out, she avoids him. I learned that she wanted nothing to do with and he forced himself upon her. He hunts her down, and without me initially knowing threatens her and rapes her again. My group of friends eventually helped her out of the situation and into counseling. She still has many problems because of it. I want nothing to do with my former friend and have grown to hate him. I cut off all ties. Sometimes he still tries to talk to me, but I refuse and have told him why. The only reason he isn't in jail is because the girl has all the evidence and refuses to distribute it. He has tried to guilt her into other favors and threatened to end her if she tells anyone or bothers him, even though he is the one who bothers her. Story 14. Friend had physically harmed another friend who was drunk because he thought nobody would notice. Next day I confronted him, and after looking in my eyes and denying what I had seen for 30 minutes, it was like his mask came off. I have never understood the descriptions of the coldness of eyes until that moment. He just looked at me, smiled, and said honestly, I just don't care, we are no longer friends. Everyone else eventually figures out that he was batshit and takes a step back. He checks into a psych ward for 3 days, but keeps the admittance bracelet on for the next 3 weeks. Tells everyone he talks to, using my name, about this who destroyed his life and caused him to attempt suicide. Don't be friends with psychopaths. Kids, if they have alienated everyone they ever knew, the common denominator is them. Edit. Okay, putting this here. I'm new to Reddit, and just got kicked off another subreddit for not using asterisks in curse words. Didn't know that wasn't standard Reddit procedure. To all of you who were kindly pointing this out, thank you. I have learned a lot about formatting today in general and appreciate the help. To all of you who got weirdly aggressive about it, you guys should really get a hobby. Y'all, I was 16 and had my first boyfriend. I confided in my best friend of a decade that I was really upset because he got annoyed at something I said at Baskin-Robbins and threw me against a table and then down on the floor, and that it wasn't the first time head shoved me around. She told me that she didn't want to hear it and that I had no right to complain because unlike her, at least I had a boyfriend. That was pretty much that for our friendship. Edit to add so people can stop freaking. Yes, I broke up with him, and it was like 2.5 decades ago. I'm in a safe and loving marriage. Story 15. Had a whole bunch do it at once. I used to have a group of people I thought were my friends. Because of this, I did a lot for them. I helped them out by working on their projects, supported them, let one stay in my home rent-free when they were in danger of becoming homeless. I did all that for these people, but 2 years in a row, they couldn't be bothered to do something as simple and easy as meet up with me for drinks to celebrate my birthday. Half of them didn't even bother responding to being invited. I've pretty much cut them all out my life now. I'm done being used by those who don't care about me. Story 16. You know what, recently, like late 2019, I started getting out of the house. I'm a single father of 2 girls and I focused on them 1,000 for a really long time. I finally got out of the house a few times. And I'm serious, I went to this friend's house a few times for game nights, basically drinking and cards. Till this dude hauled off and hit me for accidentally touching his hat of all things. What struck me most is that they were hosting and didn't even offer an apology to me. It was quite insane for me. It was like I was back in high school. Unfucking real. I gave them ample time to realize what happened. It took the person 3 months to even realize we are no longer friends on social media, and she's trying to add me back now, and honestly, it broke something in me. Story 17. An ex-friend of mine was pushing me for inappropriate images under the flimsy guise of joking, seemingly out of nowhere. I was in a 3-year relationship with my now husband, and this ex-friend of mine also had a GF of his own during this whole ordeal. Real classy. Now, this wasn't really something he had done previously in all our years knowing one another. So with that in mind, I foolishly tried to give him the benefit of the doubt and just made it unmistakably clear to him that if he didn't stop behaving like a mindless pervert, I'd cut contact and end our friendship. Then one day I got an image text. It was his outlined in gym shorts and a sad and completely see-through fish for compliments. Then the most pathetic backpedal of the century. Friendship of 10 years ended. But not before I laid into him first before blocking that toxic predators. You Lyle, I went to stay the night with one of my best friends. Long story short, the entire night was just her on her phone, not invested or listening to anything I said. I knew this BC. I tested it by saying something that could not be funny in the slightest, and she let out this huge fake laugh without looking up from her phone. This was a problem I'd been having with her the past year at most. She wanted to go to sleep super early because she was tired. I ended up lying and saying I needed to go home, and she was more than fine with it. After all she wanted to do was sleep or text. Not even an hour after I'm home, I see her Snapchat story of her at her other new friend's house drinking and seemingly having a blast. Not only was it hurtful she did that, but that she didn't care I would see it. That was when I decided we were no longer best friends. I still get sad about it because we had been so close since junior high. Some people just change for the worst. Edit: this will be the 3rd friend I've shared on, but this is the worst one I have. A friend who I just spent an entire weekend with took advantage of my MySpace page being logged into her computer, posted as me saying I was coming out lesbian, missed multiple of our classmates too, and made my default a terrible saturated acne photo of me. To say the least, I've had bad luck with girlfriends. Story 18. I have chronic health issues, and my best friend was trying to get me to drive 30 minutes to her house to go swimming when I had to pack to leave town the next day. She kept pushing and pushing, but when she finally realized I wasn't going to agree, she sat back and said, "You wouldn't be any fun even if you had your health."
He left and did speak to her again.
Story 19. I was going through some and needed to be talked down from suicide one night. I told my friend I really needed help and someone to talk to. She said, "I'm really not up for that right now. You're on your own." I listened to this woman rant about her money troubles and helped her out. The one time I need some help, that took a lot in me to ask for, I get a selfish sorry, not my job. I haven't talked to her in 7 years and she can still go herself. On the brighter side, I was too mad at her to kill myself that night. Edit: thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Edit 2. I didn't tell her I was suicidal. I kept that part to myself. I just told her I needed someone to talk to because of my anxiety and depression were really with me, and please don't leave me alone. I really needed to just be told everything was alright. She wanted to watch TV and not talk me and for me to get over it, and it wasn't her job to hold my hand. Hope that clears it up. Story 20. My cousin and I were inseparable as teens. He went on his mission Mormon and I went to hang out for a few days when he got back. I was so excited. I got there, paid for all the fun stuff we went out to do, no problem. His childhood friend and I were trying to get him to go for a walk to this cave we used to go to, and he decided to tell me what a piece of trash I am and am going to because I'm gay. I didn't say a word as I drove him home immediately. I said get out and haven't talked to him in the 8 years since then. Him. Story 21. Yes, for some background, I was best friends with this girl, let's call her Alice, for several years. I had just ended a relationship with a guy that through the course of our 5-year relationship developed an addiction to opioids that ultimately resulted in our painful breakup, and him by. Anyway, I started dating a woman I met through Alice. Alice was becoming increasingly territorial, even before I started hanging out with this woman. Eventually we became more serious and Alice called my girlfriend and told her that I'd said she was just some lesbian that was obsessed with me about my girlfriend. These words have never and would never leave my mouth. It was just Alice's attempt at sabotaging our relationship. Fortunately my girlfriend knew better and called me immediately, and I was able to fix the situation and right the wrong. However, my friendship with Alice was absolutely done as soon as I knew this. Side note: Alice has since completely ruined multiple other friendships within our friend group because of her deceit and mistreatment of people. It's the most vivid example of karma I can think of. Edit words. Story 22. Yup, she said she was going to kill herself because of me. All I did was plan an event her baby couldn't come to. I get she was dealing with postpartum depression, but that's a hard no for me. Story 23. After convincing me to delete my accounts everywhere and make new ones, after promising me that they'll protect me from my abusive ex, after witnessing everything my ex done to me, and how it scarred me for life, I found out that my best friend was dating my ex behind my back for months, lying about it the whole time. I didn't know who my friend was dating, as they refused to introduce them in person. It turns out they'd been dating behind my back a few weeks before my ex broke up with me. The whole thing scarred me to this day. It's been a year and I haven't heard from either of them since though. Good riddance. Edit spelling, punctuation. Story 24. I just found out through word of mouth that one of my best friends and groomsmen has been telling people he's skipping my wedding to go to his girlfriend's college graduation. He's known me for 8 years. They've been dating for 6 months. Story 25. When I was about 15 or 16, my friend confided in me that she had made out with a 10-year-old boy. When I told her that she defended herself by saying he was cute. I distanced myself from her for the rest of school and haven't spoken to her since. Edited a word because I can't spell good. Edited again to say I am honestly horrified at the amount of lucky kid comments. What the is wrong with y'all? Story 26. I was this friend. I went to a good friend's birthday party, And apparently at some point I must have said something that really offended her. I tried reaching out repeatedly, and she refused to speak to me. I still have literally no idea what I said or did. My wife was there too, and she doesn't know either. Very, very strange. It's been over 6 years, and I'm still baffled. Edit Holy. This blew up. Glad to know I'm not alone in this kind of thing, and I really appreciate all the love, you guys. Story 27. My husband had a best friend. Been friends for over a decade. He asked his best friend to be his best man at our wedding. He agreed. Then 2 weeks before our wedding he asked if he could bring a date. We were puzzled as we didn't think he'd been dating anyone, so we inquired and were like sure. Turns out it was one of our mutual friend's wife he was banging. We all hated her anyway, but him wanting to bring her as his date was the end for my husband. The friend said that not only would he not be the best man, but he wouldn't come to the wedding if he couldn't bring the friend's wife he was cheating with. Yep, that was a big nope. They haven't been friends since. I had a friend that I ended things with because she said your problem is you have too much humanity. You care about people too much. I asked her if she cared at all about her fellow human beings and she said don't know them. Why do you think I carry a gun? We were in a heated discussion and I had to take a breather. The absolute look of triumph and joy on her face that she had because she broke me to the point that I had to step away was enough for me. So it wasn't so much what she said, but the fact that she was so genuinely happy that she hurt me so badly. Her look was like gotcha. I won the argument. The fact that her winning was more important than our friendship and trying to see each other's point of view was it for me. She was no one I wanted to know. She admitted to me when we first became friends that she doesn't have empathy or compassion. I should have listened. I just thought she was being hard on herself. Nope, I've had friends just straight up stop talking to me, which I guess is a strong indicator that our friendship is over. Story 28. So, my friends and I all found out that another friend from here on known as BG for Birthday Girl had never had a surprise birthday thrown for her, and it was her dream. So we decided to make that happen. My husband planned a big get-together at another friend's house. We invited lots of friends, bought lots of food and even barbecue equipment, and really went all out. BG found out about the surprise party a few weeks beforehand by accident, and was thrilled, like, broke down sobbing. She was so happy because no one had ever done it for her before. Awesome. We were hyped. 2 days before the party, she texts my husband that she's changed plans and is going bowling with another friend instead. But we're invited to come. 8D, what? We were floored and pretty pissed, and lots of people were already committed to coming to this thing, so we just had the party without her, and she texted us some super angry messages because we didn't show up for bowling. Now no one is friends with her. Story 29. I was friends with my best friend from when I was 7 until right around when I graduated from college. He was incredible at what he did and he ended up with a high-paying job right out of college, top 10 university in his field, and he graduated with a 3.9 GPA, magna laude. He was a completely normal dude when I knew him, with very loving parents and siblings. Totally ordinary guy. Right after he graduated he just didn't know how to handle his money. He started spending money on services weekly and trying harder and harder drugs over the course of the first year after his college graduation. In the end he was addicted to Molly and opiates. We grew further apart due to his habits around this time, and I found out that he took his own life shortly before I moved overseas. Shot himself in the head. Story 30. A guy I considered my friend and crush once told me he wouldn't care if I died. Needless to say, I was heartbroken. Edit. Thank you kind strangers for your words. To those of you wondering about the context, here it is. I posted about it the other day because I'm just now coming to terms with it. So, I used to be a nice girl. I had a minute-long crush on any guy who would give me attention, and I was super emo and angsty partially because of a difficult home life. I was clingy with my friends and really socially awkward. It'll be me, and the guy can be N for nice guy. Our school guidance counselor will be GC. We were both 15. N was a band geek, obsessed with the girls in color guard and the one girl in his band group. While I was more of a shy nice girl who mostly got her feelings out with music, N was very extroverted, saying he loved being constantly surrounded by beautiful women of the color guard who loved me and often gave girls including me for a time unsolicited, very tight hugs all the time. He was no catch, but I was looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. All of our mutual friends knew that I liked him by this point, and they had all encouraged me to just go for it already. I had come out to N about liking him the day before, and ID had this overwhelming crush on him for over a year by then. I was devastated by this. I had our first date built up in my head and a consuming idea of what a happy couple we would be like together. He gave me an honest answer, and I can respect that now, but I didn't want to take no for an answer back when I was a moronic 15-year-old. It was at the beginning of lunch, and no one else had sat down at our friend table yet. I sat down in my usual seat next to N, and he started talking to me like nothing had happened the day prior. I refused to act like nothing had happened and confronted him. I pretty much went off on him about how I would be great for him, very nice girl, and said something along the lines of, I can't keep living like this, being just your friend. He replied, then don't live, I don't care. My face went red, and I ran into the bathroom to cry. I thought I loved him in my 15-year-old head because he could make me feel normal. When he told me that, I took it as him telling me to kill myself and began a downward spiral where I actually wanted to for years. And someone I thought was my friend began to bully me after that, saying I was not welcome and that I was a loser. I heard through the grapevine that he called me a crazy stalker girl at one point. We were all in the same honors classes, of which there was only one of each small school, so there was nothing I could do about it unless I wanted to completely change the trajectory of my school life and drop honors. Hey race where the story takes a major twist. NS mom was friends with the school's only guidance counselor, who was in charge of making class schedules and taking charge with problem children who were at risk with drugs or violence. One day I was walking quickly behind N apparently so I could put my stuff down in class and go to the bathroom like I always did at this time of day. GC called my dad without me knowing and called him to the office for a meeting with the entire school's administration staff. My dad took off work and went to the school, thinking that my newfound reclusive behavior may have been a sign that I was getting into drugs, and the school was worried. Instead, my dad went through what he described to me as a circular conversation with GC and the rest of the administration. He was instructed not to tell me this, but he did anyway. The people told my father that he had to shut me up and make me leave N alone. They said that I was causing trouble for one of their brighter and more popular students, and that they had school cam footage they would present to the police of me stalking him through the halls if they had to. Since that infamous I don't care day, I have been hospitalized 3 times for attempted suicide. I had gone off the deep end, almost hurting N during a horrible panic attack. I had cried openly in front of people I barely knew in school. N and one of our mutual friends started bullying me, and I eventually had to move towns and change schools because it wasn't going to stop. I have one friend that I still talk to from that school, the others I tried to talk to afterward, but it didn't really work out. I have since gone through an underage drinking phase and a hoe phase, both of which I have gotten over entirely. I will probably be on anti-anxiety medication for the rest of my life, but I have since found religion and made peace with myself over what happened. I have forgiven N, and I think the final part of that was writing out the main details and posting. So thank you, and that's what happens when a nice girl likes a nice guy. They're both immature and pretty terrible, but things aren't all bad. That friend I mentioned that I keep up with, we've been dating for over a year now, and we told each other that we love one another for the first time just last week. Edit 1. Feel free to ask me any questions for clarity. Sorry, I forgot to mention that in the first place. Edit 2. Feel free to ask me questions does not mean tell me off or say that this was all my fault in the comments. I understand and have come to terms with the fact that I did wrong and could have handled myself better in the situation. So telling me that I was the only one in the wrong, that I deserved all that happened to me, or that I corned N will not fly, thank you. Story 31. I have a story that I don't really like to talk about. This has been a recent event in my life and is serious. My friend that I am no longer friends with is someone that I have known for years. We are neighbors and practically grew up together. He was a relatively normal person and had good morals up until he was introduced to social media. He used YOLO on Snapchat as well as Instagram. He mainly used Snapchat and YOLO. At this time, his parents were typically not home or helping with taking care of the recent baby brother he received, so he had plenty of free time, and that free time he used to post YOLOs. Before he used social media, he was really into the Joker for some odd reason. He'd act like the character for no reason and act strange toward strangers and PPL he knew. He even acted that way towards his girlfriend. He ended up losing her because he was acting oddly towards her. All whilst this was happening, he was saying horrifying things on Snapchat. I thought that what he was posting was very disturbing and I got tired of it. He also threatened to kill people and hurt people. I ended up taking screenshots of what he was posting and showed the school administration to see if they could help him. He ended up getting suspended for a substantial amount of time and thankfully stopped what he was doing. I am not longer his friend because I can't take any chances of him finding out and hurting me. TLDR, my friend acted like the Joker and threatened to kill people, so I told the school and got him suspended. Call me a snitch all you want, but it would have gotten worse if I didn't do anything. Story 32. So in my college days, I had the opportunity to try acid. I took it, and then my roommate, who was already on thin ice with me, got jealous and started yelling and berating me because I didn't invite him to do it with me. Mind you, he said he doesn't want to try it. Months down the road, he finally got a hold of acid and was asking my advice about it. I told him it was okay, but I almost had a bad trip because he ruined the vibes. He then said, yeah, I thought maybe I shouldn't scream at you and ruin your trip, but I didn't care enough. I stopped talking to him after graduation. Edit words are hard. Story 33. My one guy friend 24 told me 25F on NY that 2020 was the year he was going to me, even if it requires rape, so I blocked him everywhere and cut all contact. He has since tried to reach me through other PPL to apologize, but I ain't got time for that foolery. Edit him. Alright guys, thank you. As for a restraining order, I'm not sure how that works where I live, but I'll definitely try to get one. Y'all are the best. Story 34. I'm sorry, I was so drunk I can't remember how good it was. Referring to banging my girlfriend at the time. We were close friends for 6 years. His name Kyle, of course. Story 35 said I was being a bad friend for not wanting to game after my October 6th hour shift that week. I was beyond exhausted and desperately wanted to go to bed. Said friend also called me a little because I was worried that I got my then GF pregnant before this incident. That GF later left me for other reasons, so I decided to start making changes without her holding me back. New job, different living arrangement, started doing more outside of the house, etc. I didn't mean for him to be one of the things left behind, but I've gotten out of that pit and have much better friends now. Story 36. We hate how you became a mother all of a sudden and now spend no time with us at the bar anymore, because apparently the friendship was only real if we were in a bar. I guess, lost 5 friends on the spot. Now that I think about it, maybe they were not even friends to begin with. Hated going to the bar anyway.